Hello. Hello. Welcome to my channel. Those of you that are watching this in the future, otherwise no one's logged on yet, so I'm just gonna hang out here and wait till everyone logs on. Dyed my hair. Hey, Mingy. Come here. Say hi. Hey everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Bobbie. This is Mingus or Mingy. He's my yoga partner. And yeah, today's Thursday. So that means it's time for Yin Yoga. This class is a little different than my other two classes that I teach, or pretty different. So if you're looking for more of a workout, this is not going to be a workout, but it's still going to be really good meditation time and really good stretching, really help with you with flexibility and stuff. Hi. So, yeah, poses are going to be held longer, and you want to try not to have you want to have as little muscle engagement as possible in each pose, and so that the stretches target the ligaments and joints rather than the muscles. So, with that said, I like to have a lot of props around me when I'm doing Yin because I find it very helpful. So if you don't have actual yoga props at home, that's totally fine. Just grab a bunch of pillows and blankets. Grab all the pillows and blankets if you want. And if you do have props and you'd like to use them, I like to use 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks, though, you could also use books that are about the size of yoga blocks. I also have a bolster and a blanket here. And I think that's it. I'm good. How are you? I'll try to keep an eye on this comment thing, but I can't see it from over here, so I probably won't end up responding till the end. So yeah. But feel free to write as much as you want on the little comment thread. And yeah, feel free to also Mingus. What are you doing here? Get there. Sorry, he's like hanging on to my clothes. Okay. Yeah, feel free to also listen to music. I don't play music while I am teaching on YouTube because of copyright issues, but if you want to listen to music, go right ahead. Turn on some music. All right, we're going to get started in child's pose. So bring the big toes together to touch behind you. Knees can either be together or wide. And then reach the arms down out in front of you. Hips reach back towards the heels. Forehead comes down to the earth. If you're having a hard time getting your forehead to the ground, or if it's just really uncomfortable, try bringing some props underneath the forehead, like maybe a pillow or 2, blankets. You can even prop up your belly as well. And then once you arrive, you can let the eyes close, relax the face, begin to slow down the breath. Relax the belly, relax the shoulder blades. Really feel the hips sink down as you breathe and as you release tension in this pose. Really focus on the breath. Focus on the breath. Inhale completely so that your lungs fill up completely, and you'll even feel the belly rise. And then when you exhale all the air out of the lungs and feel the belly pull in towards the spine. Feel free to maybe take a few exhales out through the mouth to help sigh out any tension, a little bit of cleansing breaths, cleansing out the airways. And notice any thoughts that come to mind, but don't make any attachments or judgments about them. Just observe them and let them go with each exhale. Allow yourself to be present in this moment on your mat. Let go of what happened before you came here and let go of what might happen after. Ow. So today's class is Sagittarius themed because it's Sagittarius season. And the sign Sagittarius is represented by the archer or a centaur that is also an archer. It's associated with the element of fire. So I wanted to do a couple of these poses will help balance the heart or like clear out the heart and small intestines meridian. So there's 12 meridians in Yin Yoga, and one of them is the heart and small intestines meridian. So we'll do a couple heart openers to kind of connect to our fire element. The planet that's associated with Sagittarius is Jupiter, also known as the planet of luck and expansion. It's associated or ruled by the body parts of the hips and thighs. Sagittarius is ruled by the hips and thighs. So we're doing a lot of, hip openers and quad stretches. And so there's 3 different qualities or triplicities in the zodiac: mutable, fixed, and cardinal. Sagittarius is a mutable sign. They come at the end of every season, and they prepare us for the change of seasons and for just change in general. The colors of this sign are purple and blue. Its polarity is masculine. So sometimes they seem, I guess, apparently they're either more masculine or feminine. Maybe. And our mantra for today is I see. So whatever that means to you, however you think that relates to being Sagittarius. Maybe it's I see the world because I love traveling. Sagittarius people are very adventurous and love to travel. Usually, the keywords you might think of when you think of Sagittarius are optimistic, friendly, adventurous, honest, inspiring, enthusiastic, encouraging, and dedicated. And I like to write up for my zodiac classes. I like to write up kind of like a horoscope, I guess, for that can kind of pertain to everyone and what's kind of like a little bit of motivation for you, what you could do this season, kind of something to motivate you for this, for Sagittarius season. And I wrote it up for my Yoga for Cyclists class, but I thought it turned out pretty good, so I'm going to read it now, maybe. All right. Sagittarius season is a time for you to finish achieving the goals you set at the beginning of the season. It's also a time for adventure. And even though traveling is tough right now due to COVID, maybe you could just go on outdoor adventures in your neighborhood. And while you're adventuring, maybe think about what you really want in your life. Not objects you want, but what you're meant to do with your time on this earth. But don't take things too seriously. Make sure to have fun and look on the bright side when things get tough. So we'll take a few more moments here in our child's pose. Might have to kick Lindy out. He's being crazy. And then when you're ready, you can lift the gaze, blink the eyes open, and make your way to a seat. Sorry, I lost my page. Okay. So you can sit, I guess, whichever way you want to face on the mat. But you're going to bring the soles of the feet together, knees open wide. And depending on how deep you want to go in the pose, to get a deeper stretch, you'll bring the feet closer in towards you, and for less of a stretch, you'll bring them further out. But just remember that we're going to be holding this pose for about 5 minutes, so you may not want to go as deep into this pose as if you were holding it for like 30 seconds to a minute, like you would in like a hatha or vinyasa class. If you're having a hard time sitting up tall here, you can place some props underneath the sit bones, maybe a blanket or two or pillows. Well, you can also stay sitting up tall for this pose and just kind of close your eyes and relax here. But if you'd like to take it a little further, as you exhale, you can begin to fold forward and even just let the spine round. So don't worry about having a super long spine here. Just let the spine round once you get to the bottom of your fold. Try not to push the legs down like you might to get deeper in the pose in a hatha or vinyasa class. Really just try to let gravity and your breath do the work for you. So as you breathe, send your breath to the areas where you feel the most sensation, and use your exhales to help you release tension. Quiet the mind and find stillness. If you lowered the forehead down, slowly begin to roll up through the spine to come back to a seat, a nice tall seat. Reach the right leg out to the right and bring that left foot in towards the right inner thigh. If you are sitting up on some props, you can stay sitting up on props if you'd like to help you sit up taller. From here, we're going to take an inhale, face the right leg, so really turn the torso to face the right leg, and then as you exhale, begin to fold over the leg. This right leg can be bent if you'd like. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight, and you can even put some props underneath. You can also put some props underneath the forehead, maybe between connecting the leg to the forehead or either connecting the ground to the forehead, just so you don't have to hold your head up or let it hang downward. It might be more comfortable, but that's all up to you. From here, try not to pull yourself forward using your hands. So maybe bring the palms to face upward, and instead let your breath and gravity pull you gently, naturally pull you deeper into the pose. And once you arrive, close the eyes, relax the face, focus on the breath. Find your edge, the balance between effort and ease. The point in the pose where you feel sensation, but it's not too overwhelming or too underwhelming. On your next inhale, begin to press into the palms to help you lift yourself back up. And then we'll just switch sides. So bend the right leg, reach the left leg out long to the left. You can relax this left leg completely. So instead of having that muscle engagement that you normally would in a Hatha or Vinyasa class, just let that leg relax. Then turn your torso, try to turn the belly button towards that left leg. Inhale to sit up tall. Exhale, begin to fold over that left leg. And once again, you can always have a bent knee here or even place some props underneath the knee like a block or a rolled up blanket. Bring the palms to face upward so you're not tempted to pull yourself forward. Really use your breath to help you release tension. Relax any unnecessary tension from the face. Relax the belly, shoulders, the arms. Relax every single muscle you can. Using only the muscles that you need to hold this shape. On your next inhale, you can press into the palms to help lift yourself back up to a seat, and then reach both legs out wide. Oh, my hip just popped. Relax the legs completely. Sit up nice and tall. You can always have props underneath the sit bones if you're having a hard time doing that. Make sure both these legs are relaxed. You can even have the knees bent if you need. Or you can place some props underneath there. Sit up nice and tall here. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you exhale and begin to walk the hands out in front of you. Maybe bringing some props underneath the belly and the forehead. Bringing the arms out in front of you, but with the palms facing up once again, so you're not tempted to pull yourself forward. Really just let the fold and let the depth of this pose come naturally. So you may even notice in yin, like as you hold poses longer and as you breathe and release tension, that your body will just naturally sink deeper into the pose. Close the eyes, relax the face. Take big, deep belly breaths in and out through the nose. Be present. Find stillness. Quiet the mind. On your next inhale, begin to lift the gaze. Slowly walk the hands in towards the center line. Coming up to sit up nice and tall. Bring the hands to the outer thighs. Bring a bend to the knees if you had straight legs. And slowly begin to walk the feet back together. Maybe shake them out a little bit. We're in that pose for a while. And then we're going to make our way. We're going to stay seated, actually. I'm going to face this way, though. And this pose, I am definitely going to be using some props in. Kind of depends on how I feel today. So I'll just start by bringing a bolster back here. So maybe bring a pillow or something, or maybe some blocks behind you, but that's up to you. We're going to keep the right or left leg lengthened out long, but begin to bend the right leg to bring the right foot to the outer hip. You can kind of roll the calf out of the way to help you sit more comfortably. You will probably want to sit up on something underneath the sit bones here if this is uncomfortable for you. It can be a pretty intense stretch on the front of the thigh. So if you're having a hard time just sitting here like this, I definitely recommend maybe coming up on a block or maybe a couple pillows or a couple blankets underneath the sit bones. And if this is enough of a stretch right here, sitting up tall, you can stay here. Just close the eyes and breathe. But if you'd like to take it a little further, you can start by walking the hands back behind you. And maybe you only come down this far. Maybe you come down to the forearms. This is why I brought a bolster here. You can come down all the way to the floor if you'd like, or place some props underneath the back. Try not to let the right knee lift up off the ground. It might want to do that. Keep it grounded. But in this version, in the yin version of this pose, it's called saddle in yin. Or this is half saddle. You don't have to worry about really having the legs squeezing towards one another. You can kind of just let them go a little wider than you normally would, like a little wider apart. Relax the belly, relax the face. Take a few deep breaths here. We'll be here for about maybe like 1 more minute. Again, notice any thoughts that may pop up into your mind, but just observe them. Don't make any attachments or judgments. Keep your focus on the breath. Use your breath to release tension. Then on your next inhale, if you came down onto your back, carefully make your way back up to a seat. Then you're going to kind of roll off to the left hip to help you reach that right leg out long. Maybe shake it out a little bit, do a couple ankle circles. Might be a little sore from holding the pose for a little bit. And then we'll take that on the other side. So bend the left knee back. Roll the calf out of the way. Left foot is on to the outside of the left hip. And you may notice one side is tighter than the other. That's normal. It's okay. Just notice, take note, and then let that go. So yeah, stay sitting up tall if you'd like. Maybe place a prop underneath this right sit bone or under both sit bones actually. And yeah, let the eyes close. Maybe you start to lean back. Maybe you just lean back this far. Maybe you come down to the forearms. Or maybe you come on to a prop on your back. Or maybe you come all the way down to the floor. Just remember, we'll be holding it for about 2 more minutes or 1.5 minutes, roughly. If you haven't already, close the eyes. Relax the face. Relax the belly. Relax the shoulders, arms. Remember, it should never be painful. So if it's painful at all, maybe, just try to adjust with props as best as possible. But if it's painful in the knees, and it just won't stop, then just come to a comfortable seat and just take a meditative break, breathing, or you can come to child's pose or your shavasana lying on your back. From here, slowly begin to lift yourself up, back up if you lowered down. Lean off to the right side and slowly, carefully straighten that left leg back out. Maybe roll out your ankle. Feel the blood rush back into it. I really like that feeling when you're in a pose for a long time and then you come out of it and just everything tingles and flushes into that area. All right, so now we're gonna move into full saddle pose. So that was half saddle. I recommend having props underneath the sit bones. I'm actually gonna use the bolster right here to sit back on. You're gonna bend both legs so that both feet are right at the outside of the hips. The knees can be hips width distance, maybe a little wider. And if you'd like to come up higher onto props, go right ahead. You can do that by either, I'm gonna demonstrate with a block. So you can either take a block or just layer up some blankets and pillows, place them underneath the sit bones. You can even maybe come up way higher if this is what feels good for you. You can bring some extra padding underneath the knees if you like, if it's and shins. Just make this pose. Find the best version of this pose for your body. You can stay sitting up tall, or maybe, I think I'm actually going to add some more props onto mine. I'm going to use a lot of props. Maybe you begin to lean back. So maybe that's just leaning gently back on the hands. Maybe you come down to the forearms. Or maybe you come in or come all the way down onto the floor or your props. Try not to let the knees lift up off the ground. And then once you arrive, reclose the eyes. And we'll just hold this one for about a minute. So really let yourself sink into the pose. Quiet the mind. Find stillness. Send their breath into the areas where you feel the most sensation. Maybe you tap into that ujjayi breath by constricting the back of the throat, kind of making a ha sound with the lips closed. Making the breath a little more audible, allowing you to really send your focus there. On your next inhale, slowly begin to lift yourself back up if you lower it down. And then from here, instead of like turning or anything, you're just going to kind of lift the hips up, walk the hands out in front of you, and allow yourself to come forward onto your belly. So you need to move some props around in order to do so. And we'll give the legs a little bit of a break and take a couple of heart openers to connect us with that fire element. It's Sagittarius fire element. All right, so we're going to come into Sphinx pose to start. So bring the elbows right underneath the shoulders. Let the belly relax, let the legs relax. Roll the shoulder blades down the back. Close the eyes, relax the face. Maybe you even let the head drop down. Or keep the gaze lifted. Whatever feels best in your body. For less of a stretch, you can walk the arms further out in front of you. And for more of a stretch, don't bring them too far in. You can bring them right underneath the shoulders, the elbows. You can even bring some props underneath the forearms to deepen the stretch, to get a little more of a back bend. Or if you'd like, you can come into seal. So to do that, you'll turn the fingertips out to each side, press into the palms, and lift the elbows up. Maybe walk the hands in further or further down, whatever feels best in your body. You can let the belly relax. Keep the shoulder blades rolling down the back. Yeah, use your breath to help you release tension. Feel the heart lifting. On your next exhale, everyone slowly lower down onto the belly. Bring the hands to stack on top of one another and bring the forehead onto the hands. Just maybe even rock the hips a little bit from side to side to release that low back. And then when you're ready, make your way to hands and knees. Make sure you have some props nearby, like maybe a pillow or bolster, a couple blankets. We're going to take Anahatasana or heart melting pose, but we're going to be holding it for about 3 minutes. So you may not go as deep into it as you normally would, just like all the other poses. So you're going to keep the hips lifted up high above the knees, but then walk the arms out in front of you, reaching the heart down towards the earth. You may bring the forehead to the earth. This is too intense, you can bring some props underneath the forehead to give you a little bit of height. If you live in a more open body, your chin may touch the earth, but just remember, we will be holding this for about 3 minutes. Wherever you are at, once you arrive, reclose the eyes, relax the face. Take big, deep belly breaths in and out through the nose. Send your breath into that heart space. Fill the lungs up completely, even though it may seem more difficult in this pose. On your next inhale, begin to blink the eyes open and slowly just slide yourself forward back onto your belly. Just passing through here, then we're going to roll all the way onto our backs. Bring the arms out to a T with the palms facing up, or a cactus shape if you don't have the room. Bring the legs to about a 90-degree bend. Take an inhale. As you exhale, gently let the legs fall over to the left side. Try to keep that right shoulder grounded, so maybe the legs might not come down all the way. You can place some props underneath the legs if you'd like. Maybe bring the left hand to the right outer thigh. Really try to relax into this. Sink deep into the earth. Gaze can either be straight up at the sky or over the right shoulder if that feels okay in your neck. Send your breath deep into the belly. Help neutralize the spine after those back bends. On your next inhale, slowly begin to bring the legs back through center. And then exhale, gently let them fall over to the right side. Feel free to bring any props that you may need underneath the legs. Oops. Try to keep that left shoulder grounded. Right hand can come to the outer left thigh. Kind of giving yourself a little bit of an assist, helping you sink deeper into the twist. Gaze can either be straight up or over the left shoulder if that feels okay in your neck. You can close the eyes if you haven't already. Relax the face and breathe. On your next inhale, slowly lift the legs up back through center. Then lower the soles of the feet onto the earth. Cross right ankle over left thigh. Keep these right toes flexed to help protect the knee and ankle joint. You can stay right here, kind of pressing this right knee outward. Or if you'd like to take it further, you can bring the legs in towards you. Thread the right arm through that figure four shape and either interlace the hands behind the left thigh or in front of the left shin. Keep lengthening the tailbone down towards the earth. You can kind of use this right elbow to help you press that right knee out further if you'd like. Relax the belly. Send your breath into that right outer thigh, that right outer hip. On your next inhale, blink the eyes open. Release the legs back down onto the earth if you lifted them. Cross or uncross the right leg and switch sides. So we'll cross left ankle over right thigh now. Press the left knee out away from you. Keep this left foot flexed to protect your knee and ankle joint. Stay here or bring the legs in, thread the left arm through that figure 4 hole, and either interlace the hands behind the right thigh or in front of the right shin. Lengthen the tailbone down, maybe use this the left elbow to gently nudge the left knee out a little further, or just relax into the pose and let your breath help you release tension. If you haven't already, you can close the eyes, relax the face. Focus on the breath, sending that breath into the areas where you feel sensation. Making sure that there's not too much sensation. Make sure it's not painful. It should never be painful. Listen to your body. Make sure there's also not too little sensation. On your next inhale, blink the eyes open. Carefully release the legs down. Then we'll come into our final pose before Shavasana. So we'll have 2 options here. So you can we'll be staying on our backs. You can either take reclined butterfly, or you can take fish with butterfly legs. So for reclined butterfly, we'll bring the soles of the feet together, open the knees out wide. If you'd like to add that heart opener for fish, you grab one or 2 blocks, or maybe a couple pillows, or a couple blankets, or your books if you're using books. I'm going to put 1 block on the medium height, towards the top of the mat, and then the other block on lower height, further up towards the top edge of the mat. This first block is going to come right at the bottom of the shoulder blades. The bottom edge of the block should be right at the bottom of the shoulder blades. And then the second one will just come right underneath the head. You can always have the blocks on any height that you'd like, or pillows. If you're using pillows, I would recommend maybe just using them underneath the heart space and not using one underneath the head. But that's up to you, depending on how much of a heart opener you want to get. And if you're using blocks and you'd like a deeper heart opening, you can always not use the block underneath the head. Or if you'd like less of a heart opening, you can bring this other block underneath the head higher up, or the same height. Whatever feels best in your body. This one under the shoulder blades can be on a higher height or lower height too. And if you don't want to have the heart opening, just lie flat on the back within your legs in butterfly. Arms can rest down by the sides, or maybe you bring the left hand to the heart and the right hand to the belly. Close the eyes if you haven't already. Relax any unnecessary tension from the face. If it's too intense, that having gravity kind of pull down on the legs, you can place some props underneath the knees and thighs. Really listen to your body and find the best version of this pose for you. Feel the belly and chest press up into the hands as you inhale. And then feel them both lower back down as you exhale. Feel all the sensations that you are feeling physically. And feel and notice any emotions that may come up. But try not to make any attachments or judgments about them. Just notice and observe. Maybe as if you left your body and were looking down upon you from above. Then from here, bring the hands to the outer thighs and use your hands to help you bring the legs back toward one another. If you're on props underneath the back, you can just roll off to one side just to remove them. And then everyone lie back down on your back for your Shavasana. Relax the arms down by the sides, palms face upward. Snuggle the shoulder blades underneath the back and tuck the chin slightly so the back of the neck is long. Close the eyes, relax the face. Relax every single muscle in your body. The head, the neck, shoulders, arms, belly, hips, legs, and feet. Still staying present, letting go of your thoughts, and even begin to let your breath return to its natural state, letting go of any breath control. Shavasana. And I have a poem to read for you called Sagittarius for you to meditate on while you're in your Shavasana. It's called Sagittarius by Detroit T. Flanagan Jr. You're the archer seeking wisdom, one half man and one half horse, speaking truth with naive bluntness. But you mean no harm, of course. A clever mind with a fiery drive, heading for your dreams. No pretense and no deception. You are what you seem. Resilient optimism is the trademark that you bear. You'll quickly find the silver lining and not wallow in despair. Advice on how to live their lives to friends you'll freely give. No matter that they didn't ask, you'll tell them how to live. A restlessness runs through you for change and far off trips. And whatever comes into your mind will soon be on your lips. You'll champion the underdog and try to move his strife. Your mind is independent and your focus is on life. If you'd like to stay in your Shavasana longer, please do. But if you're ready to come out, you can start by deepening the breath. Bring small movements to the fingers and toes. Circle the ankles and wrists. Rock the head from side to side. And reach the arms up overhead, the legs out long in front of you for a morning stretch. Hug the knees into the chest and carefully roll over onto the left side. Rest here in this fetal position for just a moment, or for a while if you need. And then whenever you're ready, try to keep the eyes closed or a soft gaze and make your way up to a comfortable cross-legged seat at the top of your mat. Once you arrive, re-close the eyes if you open them. Sit up nice and tall, taller than you have all day. On an inhale, reach the arms up overhead, palms touch at the top. Exhale through the mouth, hands to heart center. Bow the chin towards the heart. Take a moment to thank yourself for carving this time out of your day to be present, to breathe, to stretch, and to practice yoga. And I thank you for joining me. Thank you for sharing your space with me, your breath with me, even though we're not in the same place. I thank you. I'm going to end with a quote from Sagittarius Samuel L. Jackson. He was born December 21st, 1948. So I guess some people might technically say he's a Capricorn because in some calendars, Capricorn season starts on December 21st, but sometimes it starts on the 22nd. So I guess it's up to you, but either way, he's on the cusp, which means when you're on the cusp of another, like close to when another zodiac or astrological sign is their season, you kind of tend to take on the traits from that other zodiac sign, sometimes even seeming more so than whatever your actual sun sign is. So, anywho, to the quote from Samuel L. Jackson. Take a stand for what's right. Raise a ruckus and make a change. You may not always be popular, but you'll be part of something larger and bigger and greater than yourself. Besides, making history is extremely cool. Bring the thumb knuckles up to the third eye space. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. It really means a lot, and I really appreciate everyone that takes my classes. So please subscribe if you haven't already. And let me know if there's anything you want to work on in any future classes. Let me know what you think of my classes. And don't forget, you can always do, if you can't make a live class, you can always do past classes because they're all on my YouTube channel. So and I'm finally done with quarantine, so that's exciting. So I'm gonna hopefully make it to Crux Chiropractic on Saturday for my energizing vinyasa flow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. So that class is like the opposite of this class. I like to give more intermediate and advanced options, but they're all optional, and you can make it your own, just like you can with any yoga class. So thank you again. Let me know what you think. Please donate if you can. If you can't, that's totally fine. My Venmo information is all on all my social media. Oh, and Cash App and PayPal if you don't have those. And if you can't find it, you can let me know. It doesn't have to be like the $10 to $15 suggested donation that I say it is. It can really be whatever you want, so you don't have to worry about that. Or if you can't do it, that's fine. I just want to keep making free classes, and I want to make yoga accessible and affordable for everyone. So I think that's it. Thank you again. Join me Saturday. Take a minute. Come up and say bye. Be sleepy. Oh, sleepy boy. All right, bye. Oh, hi, Cassandra. I just saw that now.